Halloween is here in Raid. Guys, finally he sleeps back again with another episode of This Week in Raid. We are heavy into the Halloween fusion event. I know we're into November now, and we're in day 2 of the fusion, but it is still a Halloween fusion, and with it, there's a lot going on this week. They just released the October champions, even though we are in November. We have Nell Blackteeth, which is the new Sylvan Watchers support mythical. She's a creepy-ass witch. The kit here for her is insane. I mean, it's a mythical, so it's going to be really hard to come by. But not only is her kit fantastic, the visuals here for this thing is unbelievable. I am completely digging her mythical form. She is just crazy looking, but again, it's a mythical, so we kind of assume that we're going to have some crazy stuff as far as the mythicals go. If we go over to Sacred Order, this is where we have Hansel and Gretel, which are the brand new the fusion, and her brother here is the second half. There's a whole video here that kind of lays out the breakdown for these two, Hansel and Gretel, so I'm not going to dig into them too deep. We also have this new one, Volcanos Furmore from Demon Spawn, which is, where's he at? Volcanos, there he is, Volcanos. This one is actually available right now as a times 10 Ancient Shard pick with a 2x multiplier for epics and legendaries. So if you're gonna go in for, what do we have? We have Champion Chase right now. So if you're gonna use your ancients for Champion Chase, there is a 10x opportunity to grab Volcanos, and he has an A1 that attacks one enemy. Each time the skill is used, permanently increases the damage inflicted by this skill by 10%. So it stacks up to 100%. Counterattacks with this skill each time an enemy under an HP burn attacks this with HP burn debuff attacks this champion or their allies. And then an AoE on A2 that places fear for 2 turns. Debuff cannot be resisted by enemies under HP burn, making him unbelievable there for multiple areas of the game. And then he is a faction ally champ, so we have, if you've got multiple demon spawn in here, this A3 becomes really important. It's kind of got that Teox look to it. Attacks one enemy 2x, and the damage inflicted by a skill increases by 10% for the turns left remaining of any HP burn debuffs on the enemy, stacks up to 100%. Fantastic. If you have one faction ally, damage received by this champion is decreased by 50% while the skill is not on cooldown. 2 faction allies, each time an HP burn debuff is activated on an enemy, has a 50% chance to decrease this skill's cooldown by 1. And if there are 3 faction allies, if the target is under an HP burn debuff, this attack will ignore Stone Skin, Unkillable, ally protection, block damage, and shield. Holy shit. It is a defense-based legendary that's all. Reading that is enough for me to go over and at least pull 10 ancients. I don't even know what my mercy is right now, but we're going to pull 10 ancients just to see what happens. 2x event. It's a decent event to use this. Tyrell. Maiden. We're in Summon Rush. Yaga the Insatiable. Let's go ahead and pull 5 more. I have to make room, but I don't mind pulling some of these. There we go. Tanix Hate Flower. At least we're getting Champion Chase points out of this. 3 more. See, I think it was last week. I got crazy lucky. I think it was this week in Raid. Yeah. And we pulled a Lego something. I think it was Voids. We pulled a Voids for a Lego. Can't happen 2 weeks in a row. Worth trying, though. All right. So that don't miss out on the chance. That is crazy. Two times chance of epic and legendary champions, and then the targeted boost here 10 times for Volcanos Fumor. We also have Arnorn the Shining, which is a void legendary dwarf, and then we have the components to the fusion, which we can look at easily enough here. The components we have Signy of High Shield, which, oh my god, I don't even, it's like Humpty Dumpty. And then we have Denid the Tusk Knight. Neither of these look like it's definitely, they're not going to compete for anything. But those are the champions for October. We also have the Halloween gift in the store that if you didn't check out yet, I think everybody got, there was a decent amount of stuff in there. It was available on Halloween. And then if you missed it, they increased the reserve vault. If you've got a lot of stuff in your reserve vault, they've increased that. I only get 330 spots. I don't use much in the reserve vault. This is just for faction guardians for me, but they've increased this all the way up to 800. It will now go from 600 up to 800. You still have to open the slots, but they are there if you need it. The calendar for this event is out. There's a second video specifically for the calendar, so I'm not going to go too much into it. The calendar, it's a straightforward fusion. You're claiming rares that you're going to fuse into the epics. Summon Rush at the back end gives you a chance to just claim the epic without having to do anything, which would give you a chance to skip 4 individual events. If you've got a ton of shards, sacreds, it might be worth that one, but we don't know at this point. Again, I do feel like it is my duty to tell you guys that this is, if the Hansel is available and easy to grab with something like Deck of Fate, then I think you're going to be quite upset if you skip on this and this becomes one of those events that you don't worry about. One last thing before we end this, Raid Digest was just released, and they're mentioning Hydra again. I'll read what they said. We remain consistent in preserving the concept that Hydra should be able to take turns to perform an attempt to either kill or devour champions, as we perceive this as a fundamental principle of Hydra mode. Exposed necks, limited HP, increasingly higher additional devour HP, and stronger Serpent's Will are designed to allow Hydra to continue acting according to that principle, to take turns, and to be increasingly able to devour players' champions. That being said, we agree that facing all 4 heads at once with the Serpent Will buff is annoying and just feels too harsh because you can't deal any damage. We appreciate your suggested solutions in this regard, and our game developers are already thinking about ways to mitigate that. Also, with the nearest release, we'll implement a few improvements to champion AI. In Hydra battles next week, we'll reveal the details in our update highlights and release notes. Whilst we're on the topic of Hydra, let us share some internal info. According to the analytical data, the diversity of the teams that took top places over the past 2 Hydra clashes has increased. We hope to leave the days when one player could defeat the entire clan behind us. Okay, so that's their notes on Hydra. I personally am fine with the changes to Hydra, but then again, I don't have any of those specific teams built. I was in the middle of putting a Yannicka team together, but had not completed it, so because of that, I feel a little bit better. It could be worse. I really do. I understand how much it sucks if this really screwed stuff up for you, but even what it did to Clan Boss, instead of having one Wixwell Clan Boss team that was affinity friendly, I adjusted it out to, I now have 3 teams. One for Magic and Force, one that has a rare in it that deals with Spirit, and then the Void. Then there's one for Void. I think I have a specifically separate one for Void, and I had to bring in Corvus the Corruptor to be able to adjust things. And the rare that I used, it pulled out Spirit Host and put in Kale. I think I'm using Kale to be able to get those numbers. And I think all of those teams for me now, I went from like 700 million points on like Magic Ultra Nightmare to, I think it's between 200 and 400 points for all of them. I think on a if if the RNG hits bad, I think the least I'm getting is about 150 million points. There was a lot of adjusting to get it there, which to me, it just kind of, it brought some life back into Clan Boss for a while. So I really don't have any problems with any of that. Bug fixes and improvements. Famous red dot that appears on the battle button and the siege tab is living its last days. At least that's what we hope. The fix is planned for the nearest release. Thank God, because my OCD kills me for that, constantly telling me there's something wrong there. In addition, we will fix an issue with the chat when a player is redirected to the global chat while typing a message in the clan chat. That could be awkward. Last but not least, Siege will see several quality of life changes, including reducing the cost of repairing the buildings. More details will be available next week. I mean, we're not doing anything to the buildings in my clan because it's kind of pointless at this point. They need to adjust Siege to fix all of that so that there's kind of a reason to want to upgrade anything. Gretel and Hansel, a special gift. If you manage to get both of these champions, Gretel Hagbane and Hansel Witch Hunter, you'll get a special gift, a legendary skill tome, a rank 5 chicken, 4 50-time multi-battle attempts, 1,000 energy, and 1,000,000 silver. To get the bonus goodies, you'll need to have both champions by November 24th. We'll inform you later about the exact date time when we'll start. That's the way they did it last year with Tiny Tim and Kaja. That was another reason to make sure you claimed both. Fragments of the Brugard, Jeroboam, and Frasier. While the upcoming update will get the possibility of exchanging unudes, with the upcoming update, you can finally turn those in if you're still going for mod. The last note on here, here's a traditional and final part of the digest. The next Clan versus Clan will be without personal rewards. So if you're like me, that means your clan will basically drag ass in the next Clan versus Clan, so that when personal rewards return, we have a reason to actually go in on it. That's kind of it for all this week in Raid. The only other thing I will mention is my clan, Green Teats. If you know anything about my clan, Green Teats is looking for some new members. We've kind of cleaned house and are kind of making some adjustments. So if you're looking for a clan and you want to be involved in an adult clan that plays every day, WhatsApp is required. You can search for us. We're out there. That's it. That's all I've got. I'm finally He Sleeps. As long as you guys keep showing up, I'll keep making videos.